Slovakia, the land of castles, is a country rest in the heart of Central Europe, boasts a remarkable density of castles. With over 180 fortifications scattered across its scenic landscapes, making it a true haven for castle hunters. Stay with us for next few minutes to explore 20 of beautiful castle in Slovakia. Bratislava Castle. This is the main castle of Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. It is the massive rectangular building with four corner towers stands on an isolated rocky hill of the Little Carpathians, directly above the Danube River, in the middle of Bratislava. Because of its size and location, it has been a dominant feature of the city for centuries. The castle hill itself has been inhabited for millennia. Evidence suggests settlements from the Celtic Ballarese culture 3500 BC and the Hallstatt period 750 to 450 BC. Even the Romans used the strategic location, building a border fortress here. The first written mention of the castle itself dates back to 907 AD, under the name Prestolosprach. The 10th century, with the rise of the Great Moravian Empire, built a significant fortress on the site. In the 11th and 12th centuries, a stone palace and church were constructed. By the 15th century, King Sigismund of Luxembourg transformed it into a Gothic castle, primarily to defend against the Hussites. After the Battle of Mohacs in 1526, Bratislava Castle became a crucial alternative coronation site for Hungarian kings, as the Ottomans had captured Buda. Unfortunately, a devastating fire ravaged the castle in 1811. The ruins remained neglected for nearly 150 years, with demolition even considered. Thankfully, reconstruction finally began in 1953, and the castle was restored to its former glory. The castle building includes four towers, one on each corner, and a courtyard with an 80-meter deep water well. The largest and tallest tower is the Crown Tower on the southwest corner. The 47-meter tower dates from the 13th century and for approximately 200 years. Beginning in the mid-1500s, housed the crown jewels of Hungary. The exterior walls and inside corridors contain fragments of Old Gothic and Renaissance construction elements. The walled-up entrance gate from the 16th century is still visible to the east of the main hall entrance. Smolenice Castle. This is a romantic castle located near on the eastern slopes of the Little Carpathian Mountains, near the town of Smolenice in Slovakia, in the eastern slope of the Little Carpathians. Built in the 15th century, the castle has a rich history and has undergone several reconstructions and renovations over the years. The castle has a long and interesting history, dating back to the 15th century. However, it was unfortunately destroyed during several wars, including Rakoczi's War of Independence and the Napoleonic Wars. The castle remained in ruins for many years until the late 19th century when Count Joseph Paffy inherited the property and ordered its reconstruction. The reconstruction project was overseen by architect Josef Hubert, who used Kreutzenstein Castle near Vienna as inspiration. The new design for Smolenice Castle embraced a romantic architectural style, featuring a massive central tower, gabled roofs, and scenic lookout points. The castle was also surrounded by a beautiful English-style park, creating a truly idyllic setting. While the castle's interior is not presently open to the public for tours, you can still admire its romantic exterior and explore the surrounding park. Orava Castle. Orava Castle is a national monument situated on a high rock above the Orava River in the village of Oravský Podzemok in Slovakia. It was built in the Kingdom of Hungary, with the oldest parts being built in the 13th century and the most recent parts in the early 17th century. The castle stands on the site of an old wooden fortification built after the Mongol invasion of Hungary of 1241. The original design was in Romanesque and Gothic style. It was later reconstructed as a Renaissance and Neo-Gothic structure, hugging the shape of the 520-meter spur on which it perches. The mining magnate Thurzo family, who took charge in the mid-16th century, were responsible for a great deal of rebuilding work, although its present form was not finalized until 1611. It burned down again in 1800, after which it was no longer used as a residence. After a period of dilapidation dating until World War II, the castle became a national monument. Today, Orava Castle is one of the most beautiful and largest castles in Slovakia. It is a popular tourist destination and offers several tours. Trenčín Castle, also referred to as Trenčínský hrad, is a massive castle complex situated on a steep limestone rock in the town of Trenčín in western Slovakia. It is one of the largest and most extensive castles in Europe, alongside Spiš Castle and Devín Castle. The castle's history stretches back to ancient times, serving as a strategic point guarding trade routes connecting northern Hungary and central Slovakia's mining towns with Bohemia, Moravia, Silesia, and Poland. The earliest structures on the site date back to the 11th century, with a stone rotunda likely built during the Great Moravian period. Trenčín Castle has undergone numerous transformations and extensions throughout the centuries, reflecting the architectural styles of its various owners. The core of the castle, including the residential tower and the rotunda's remnants, were built during 11th to 13th century period using Romanesque architecture style. Significant reconstructions occurred, with the addition of several palaces with Gothic architecture during 14th to 15th century. The iconic Mattis Tower, the castle's highest point, also dates from this era. The castle underwent further expansion and modifications during 16th to 17th century, with the Renaissance architecture addition of bastions and other fortifications. Trenčín Castle played a significant role in Slovak history. It served as a royal castle from the 11th century onwards and was owned by several powerful families, including the Hungarian royal family. The castle witnessed numerous sieges and battles throughout its history. Today, Trenčín Castle is a national cultural monument and a popular tourist destination in Slovakia. Bojnice Castle. This is a fairy tale-like medieval castle located in Bojnice in Slovakia. It is considered one of the most beautiful castles in Slovakia and a popular tourist destination, receiving hundreds of thousands of visitors every year. The Romanesque castle was originally built in the 12th century, but has undergone many renovations and additions throughout the centuries, resulting in a unique blend of Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, and Romantic architectural styles. The first written record of the castle dates back to 1113, though it likely existed as a wooden fort even earlier. During the 13th century, the castle was rebuilt in stone by the Poznan family. It was later captured by the Hungarian nobleman Matthew III Sack in the late 13th century. In 1527, King Ferdinand I of Hungary donated the castle to the Thurzo family. The Thurzos significantly altered the castle, transforming it from a Gothic structure to a more comfortable Renaissance residence. The Paffi family acquired Bojnice Castle in the 17th century. However, the most dramatic changes came in the late 19th century under Count János Paffi. Inspired by the Romantic architectural style of the Loire Valley castles in France, he had the castle extensively reconstructed between 1889 and 1910. This is the look the castle retains today. The castle is surrounded by a beautiful landscape park, which was originally designed as a romantic park with various attractions, like old ruins, that seamlessly blend into the surrounding landscape. Following World War II, the castle became the property of the Czechoslovak state and was opened to the public as a museum in 1950. Today, it is managed by the Slovak National Museum and is a national cultural monument of Slovakia. Spiš Castle. Spiš Castle in Slovakia is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the largest castle complex in Central Europe. It is located in eastern Slovakia in the Spiš region, above the town of Spišský Podhradie and the village of Zara. Construction of the medieval castle began in the 12th century on the site of an earlier castle. Throughout the centuries, it was owned by Hungarian kings and several powerful families including the Zápolia family, the Thurzo family, and the Székely family. The castle served as an important political, administrative, economic, and cultural center of the Székely county of the Kingdom of Hungary. The massive castle complex is spread over an area of 4 hectares and showcases a blend of architectural styles including Romanesque, Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque. Visitors can explore various parts of the castle including the upper castle, middle castle, and lower castle, each with its own unique features. The castle also houses a museum with exhibits on the history of the castle and the region. Sadly, a fire in 1780 heavily damaged the castle and it was never fully rebuilt. However, the ruins of Spiš Castle are a popular tourist destination and offer stunning panoramic views of the surrounding area. Beckov Castle. This is a castle ruin located above the village of Beckov in Slovakia. It is a national cultural monument and its present appearance is the result of renovations in the last quarter of the 20th century and since 2002. The castle has a long and interesting history, with evidence of a fortification on the site dating back to the Great Moravia period in 9th century. The stone castle we see today was likely built in the 13th century and belonged to the Hungarian kingdom. Throughout the centuries, it had several notable owners, including the powerful Mátysiak and the Staborics and Banfi families. The castle withstood numerous sieges, including those by the Tatars and Turks, due to its strategic location and strong fortifications. Unfortunately, a fire in 1729 heavily damaged Beckov Castle, and it was subsequently abandoned. Restoration efforts began in the 1970s, and the castle is still undergoing renovation today.
Stará Ľubovňa Castle.
This is a medieval castle located in the town of Stará Ľubovňa in northern Slovakia. It stands on a hill above the town, offering stunning views of the surrounding countryside. The castle was built in the 13th century by the Hungarian King Béla IV, and it served as an important royal residence for centuries. It was also a key defensive point on the border between Hungary and Poland. The castle is a complex of several buildings, including a main tower, a chapel, and a palace. The main tower is the tallest structure in the castle, and it offers panoramic views of the town and the surrounding area. The chapel is a Gothic structure that was built in the 14th century. The palace is a Renaissance building that was added to the castle in the 16th century. Stará Ľubovňa Castle was the site of several important historical events. In 1412, Sigismund of Luxembourg, Holy Roman Emperor and King of Hungary, met with the Ladislaw II Jagiello, King of Poland, at the castle to negotiate a peace treaty. In 1526, the castle was besieged by the Ottoman Turks, but it was successfully defended by the Hungarian garrison. The castle was damaged by fire in the 18th century, and it fell into disrepair. However, it was restored in the 20th century, and it is now a popular tourist destination. You can explore the castle's grounds, learn about its history, and enjoy the beautiful views. Kremnica Castle. This is a unique example of medieval settlement and fortification architecture in Slovakia. It's a cluster of buildings from the 14th to 15th centuries protected by a double wall connected to some of the best preserved town walls in Slovakia. Unlike most castles, it wasn't built by a sovereign or a lord, but rather for the town's administration and defense and was wholly owned by the townspeople. The castle hill where the Kremnica town castle is situated is one of the locations with the earliest settlements within the town. Construction of the castle itself began in the 14th century and underwent several reconstructions throughout the years. The most significant renovation came in the 19th century, resulting in the neo-Gothic look you see today. The Kremnica town castle is now part of the Museum of Coins and Medals under the Slovak National Bank. Lietava Castle. This is an extensive castle ruin in the Sulov Mountains of northern Slovakia, between the villages of Lietava and Lietavská Svinababkov in the Žilina district. Built after 1241, most likely as an administrative and military center, the castle occupies a strategic position alongside the Amber Road, a trade route between Europe and Asia along which amber and other goods were transported. Members of the Balas family are thought to have constructed a 4-story tower, and this was expanded over the years by successive owners. The Thurzo family is the last major owners of the castle in the early 17th century. After the death of Imre Thurzo in 1621, the castle was divided between his heirs and eventually abandoned. Today, the castle is a popular tourist destination, offering stunning views of the surrounding area.
Halič Castle.
Also known today as Galicia Nueva Castle Hotel, is a stunning example of Renaissance Baroque architecture located in Slovakia. Originally built in the 15th century, the castle has a fascinating history and has undergone several transformations over the centuries. In its earliest iteration, Halič Castle was a medieval structure. However, in the 17th century, the Forgax family completely rebuilt the castle on the foundations of the original structure. The castle was built without any royal permission by Magister Thomas from Lusenec. This reconstruction resulted in a modern, six-wing building with a central courtyard and corner bastions, designed to be both a residence and a defensive structure. The castle was surrounded by ditches and ramparts for added protection. Today, Halič Castle operates as a luxurious four-star hotel. After extensive renovations that were completed in 2016, the castle offers exclusive accommodations in 49 suites and rooms, all designed in various historical and art styles.
Slovenská ľupča Castle.
This medieval castle, located in the village of Slovenská ľupča, in the Banská Bystrica district of Slovakia. It is one of the best preserved castles in Slovakia and is a popular tourist destination. The castle was built in the 13th century by Hungarian King Béla IV after the Mongol invasion of 1241. It was originally a royal castle, but it changed hands several times over the centuries. In the 16th century, the castle was owned by the Doxy family, who used it as a base for their raids on neighboring towns and villages. In 1531, the castle was captured by the forces of King Ferdinand and returned to the Hungarian crown. The castle was damaged in a fire in 1711 and was never fully repaired. It was abandoned in the 18th century and fell into ruin. In the 20th century, the castle was partially restored and opened to the public. Today, Slovenská ľupča Castle is a popular tourist destination. Visitors can explore the castle ruins, which include the main tower, the chapel, and the palace. There is also a museum on site that exhibits artifacts from the castle's history. Strečno Castle. This is a reconstructed ruin of a medieval castle with an irregular layout, situated in northern Slovakia, roughly 12 kilometers east of Žilina. The castle stands atop a 103-meter-high calcite cliff, overlooking the international road E50 and the village of Strečno. The first documented mention of a stone castle on the site dates back to 1316. Today, the castle is considered part of Slovakia's national cultural heritage, and after reconstruction efforts, it houses exhibits managed by the Pavask Museum in Žilina. Historical evidence suggests the castle's origins can be traced back to the first half of the 14th century. Initially, it was a small structure, measuring only 18 times 22 meters, and likely served as a way to safeguard toll collection at a ford across the Va River. Throughout its history, Strečno Castle has been owned by several noble families, including the Balasovics, the Sunogs, and the Saki family. Each period of ownership was marked by additions and modifications to the castle's structure, making it more sophisticated and better fortified. The castle played a significant role in protecting the region throughout various historical periods. It remained a formidable structure until the late 18th century when a fire significantly damaged it. Although partially reconstructed in the 19th century, the castle never fully recovered its former glory. Today, Strečno Castle is a popular tourist destination in Slovakia. Devín Castle. This is a historic castle located in Devín, a borough of Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. It's one of the oldest castles in the country, with evidence of a settlement on the site dating back as far as the 5th century BC. The castle itself has a rich and complex history, serving as a key frontier fortress throughout various eras. The first written mention of the castle might be from 864, when it was known as Bojnice and served as a stronghold during the reign of Prince Rastislav of Moravia. Devín transitioned into a royal castle of the Hungarian kingdom in the 13th and 14th centuries. It also played a role in the spread of Christianity, as Saints Cyril and Methodius, who created the Glagolitic script, are believed to have visited the castle in 863. The castle saw many battles and ownership changes throughout the centuries. It was eventually blown up during the Napoleonic Wars in 1809 and remained in ruins ever since. Despite its ruined state, Devín Castle is a popular tourist destination today. You can explore the castle grounds, which include preserved remains from various historical periods, and enjoy the stunning views of the Danube and Morava rivers meeting at the foot of the castle. The castle is also a symbol of Slavic unity and is depicted on Slovak stamps and old coins. Krásna Hôrka Castle. This is a 14th century Gothic castle located in the village of Krásnohorsk Podhradí in Slovakia. It is situated on a hill overlooking the Gemmer region, offering stunning views of the surrounding countryside. The castle has a long and interesting history, having been owned by several noble families, including the Andrúsys, who played a significant role in Hungarian politics. The castle was first mentioned in written records in 1333 and was originally built as a royal fortress. In the 15th century, it was acquired by the Merici family, who expanded and fortified the castle. The Bebeks, another powerful Hungarian family, took ownership of the castle in the 16th century and made further modifications. In 1770, the castle came into the possession of the Andrúsy family, who would remain its owners for nearly 2 centuries. The Andrúsys were one of the wealthiest and most influential families in Hungary, and they used Krásna Hôrka Castle as their summer residence. They also made extensive renovations to the castle, adding Baroque and neoclassical elements to its architecture. The castle was damaged in a fire in 1921, but it was repaired by the Andrúsys. However, the castle fell into disrepair after World War II, and it was eventually nationalized by the Czechoslovak government in 1948. The castle underwent extensive renovations between 2010 and 2011, and it was reopened to the public in 2011. Čachtice Castle. This is a castle ruin in Slovakia, located next to the village of Čachtice. It stands on a scenic hill featuring rare plants, and has even been declared a national nature reserve for this reason. The castle has a long and interesting history, and was once a residence and later the prison of the infamous Countess Elizabeth Bathory, who is alleged to have been a serial killer. Originally built in the mid-13th century by Casimir from the Hont-Pasmini gens, Čachtice Castle served as a sentry on the road to Moravia. Over the centuries, it has belonged to various noble families, including Matthew Sack, the Stibber family, and finally Elizabeth Bathory. The architectural style of Čachtice Castle reflects its long history. Originally, it was a Romanesque castle with a unique horseshoe-shaped residence tower. Later, it was transformed into a Gothic castle, and its size was increased in the 15th and 16th centuries. A Renaissance renovation followed in the 17th century. Čachtice Castle met its fiery end in 1708 when it was captured by the rebels of Francis II Rákóczi. Neglected and eventually burned down in 1799, the castle was left to decay for many years. Thankfully, it was revitalized and turned into a tourist attraction in 2014. Today, the castle offers stunning panoramic views of the surrounding area, making it a popular destination for hikers and nature lovers alike. If you're ever in Slovakia, Čachtice Castle is definitely worth a visit. Modrý Castle. This is a Gothic Renaissance castle located in the village of Modrý Kameň, in the Banská Bystrica district of Slovakia. It is one of the most popular castles in Slovakia and is known for its beautiful architecture and rich history. The castle was built in the 13th century by the Zapolsky family. It was originally a small castle, but it was expanded and fortified in the 15th century by the Balassa family. The Balasas were a powerful Hungarian noble family, and they used the castle as a base for their raids on neighboring territories. In the 16th century, the castle was captured by the Ottoman Turks. The Turks held the castle for over 100 years, and during this time they made many changes to the castle's fortifications. The castle was eventually recaptured by the Hungarians in 1686. After the Ottoman occupation, the castle was owned by several different families. In the 18th century, the castle was purchased by the Kohari family, who owned it for over 200 years. The Koharis were one of the wealthiest families in Hungary, and they used the castle as a summer residence. The Koharis remained the owners of the castle until the end of World War II. In 1945, the castle was nationalized by the Czechoslovak government. The castle was then used as a school and a museum. Today, Modrý Castle is a popular tourist destination. Nitra Castle. Nestled on a prominent hilltop in the Slovak town of Nitra, Nitra Castle reigns as a dominant landmark and boasts a rich history dating back centuries. The earliest fortifications on the site can be traced back to the Bronze Age, showcasing a long history of human settlement. The current castle structure, however, began to take shape in the 11th century, constructed on the foundation of an earlier fort. The core of the castle is the Cathedral of St. Emmeram, with the adjacent Bishop's Palace forming a significant complex. Nitra Castle is a fascinating blend of architectural styles, reflecting the various eras it has endured. Here's a breakdown of its key architectural elements. The oldest surviving part of the complex is the Romanesque Church of St. Emmeram, dating back to the 11th or 12th century. Extensive additions came in the Gothic period, with the construction of the upper church in the 14th century. 300 years later, the lower church was added. The 18th century saw the Bishop's Palace undergo a significant transformation, taking on its present late Baroque appearance. Today, Nitra Castle remains as a seat of the Bishopric of Nitra. Also, the Slovak Academy of Sciences maintains an archaeological institute within the castle walls.
Zvolen Castle.
This is a medieval castle located on a hill near the center of Zvolen, in central Slovakia. Built in the 1370s by Louis I of Hungary, it was originally designed in the Gothic architectural style to resemble Italian castles of the 14th century. The castle has undergone several reconstructions throughout its history, resulting in a blend of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque features. Today, Zvolen Castle is a popular tourist destination and houses a regional branch of the Slovak National Gallery. The gallery exhibits works by old European masters, including Peter Paul Rubens, Paolo Veronese, and William Hogarth. There's also a charming tea room located within the castle walls. Uhrovec Castle. This picturesque castle ruin perched atop the Strazovsk Vrchy Mountains in western Slovakia. Built sometime between 1251 and 1293, it's considered one of the most valuable Romanesque castles in the country. The castle's history is intertwined with powerful figures. Initially built by a member of the Hunt-Poznanov family, it later changed hands to the influential Zay family from Croatia. Throughout the centuries, the castle served as a refuge during times of peril, including the dangers posed by the Ottoman Turks. Uhrovec Castle met its fiery demise in 1848, when a fire ripped through the complex, leaving it in ruins. However, preservation efforts began in the 1990s, with a focus on cleaning, archaeological research, and stabilizing the remaining structures. Today, you can explore the evocative ruins of Uhrovec Castle and imagine its former glory. The hike to the castle is known for its beauty, leading through dense forests and offering glimpses of the surrounding countryside. So, what's your favorite castle? Tell us in comment section. We hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us. Until next time, happy travels.